Talk to me about Bernie Sanders.
All right. So the column is entitled Bernie's Taxing Situation, and because he's going to put out his taxes on Monday. But we already know that Bernie Sanders, the senator from Vermont, the socialist, is a millionaire twice over. All right? So he's got assets of about more than $2 million, according to himself.
Okay, now you're not...
He got 3 homes.
You're not against millionaires,
No,
clearly.
Hey, I'm a capitalist.
Right.
I applaud Bernie.
Correct.
But Bernie's vision for the country is dangerous, so I must put Bernie's rhetoric in perspective with his actions, which is why I'm never good. Because I always have to think about these things.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
All right. So, Bernie's got 3 houses, all right? He's got a little condo in D.C., got a big lake house in Lake Champlain. Samuel D. would be very impressed with that spread.
It's like,
and then he's
it's like
got
$750,000.
We don't really know where that is.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Then he's a millionaire because he sells books. Now, for me, I don't know why Bernie's not giving those books away. Because there's a lot of people that they can't spend $30 on a book. And they want to kind of get a little book subsidy from Bernie, but no. But the big thing that I learned about Bernie Sanders is that in the last 2 years, he spent $340,000 on private jets. So now I sent my column to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the hopes that somebody would read it to her. And I want to know about the Green New Deal and Bernie, because I think Bernie's Green New Deal is in his wallet.
So can I ask you a question? Bernie Sanders has been...
Show. You absolutely have that right.
So Bernie Sanders has been in politics since 18... When did he start?
12.
When did he get into politics? Do you know? Well, let me ask you this question.
Bernie was a hippie in Brooklyn,
right,
and decided he didn't really want to work for a living, and this is true, and moved up to Vermont, where there are far more cows than people, and started to run for office, and he lost. I mean, he couldn't win. But then finally he became mayor of Burlington, Vermont, the largest city in the state. And then from there became a congressman. There's only one congressman in Vermont because they don't have any people. 2 senators, 1 congressman. All right. And then he's been on the government dole more than 20 years, I believe. I think it might be approaching 30.
So
he's a career politician.
So where did he make the millions of dollars? Now, I know he said...
The books.
Uh-huh.
The books.
Uh-huh.
So he
now, I believe that with you, Bill.
Well, no, Beck. No, you don't. No, let me. And this is actually an excellent question that I'm glad you asked permission to ask. Excellent question.
I know who's running the show here.
Here's how Bernie amassed $2 million. Okay. Number one, his campaign contributions take care of every single expense the man has. He wants M&Ms, campaign expense. All right? I need energy to give my speech. Every expense is paid for by the donors to his campaign. Now, this is the second time he's run for president, and he's raised, I think, in excess of close to $100 million. Okay. So no expenses. Then he puts out books that his people, and there are Bernie people, apparently buy. But even if they didn't, he gets an advance on the book, which means that the publishing company pays him a significant amount of money. You add that to never paying for anything, and you can save a lot of money.
And has he done well in investments? Because a lot of people really.
I can't say. I mean, look, I don't have access to his portfolio. I don't have access to his tax returns. I'm happy he's giving them out on Monday. We'd take a look. What I do know is a few years ago, Bernie donated $8,000 to charity. $8,000. Now, that'll get you on a private jet from Vermont to New Hampshire. Right?
No, that'll allow you to land on the tarmac.
So is Bernie anguishing over the poor at $8,000? I don't think so. Now, I know, Beck, you give a lot of money to charity. I certainly do. I have a foundation. Okay. I don't think Bernie's doing that. He got his little kayak. He's got his little canoe up there on Lake Champlain, At least he wasn't. Maybe he is now. We'll see.